Oh, how to build a pub.
Hello and welcome to the Build a Pub podcast with me, Alex Ravenhall, a person who does his Christmas shopping in the summer sales. The Build a Pub podcast is a spin-off of my original series, Social Isolation. I invite guests onto the podcast to, as the name suggests, build their own pubs, from what they have on draft to what food they have serving to what music they have playing, and hopefully get them to share with me some anecdotes and thoughts on the institution that is the public house. I'm going to be releasing these podcasts hopefully every week and hopefully on a Sunday for the foreseeable future. If you can't wait that long, you can also find all 11 episodes of Social Isolation on this very channel. Special thanks to Sam Nason for the graphics and Jack Petham for the jingle. Today, I'm joined by the fantastic Daisy Stone, who will build a pub so ostentatious that the royals regularly come in for a round of carlings. But, as Her Majesty always says, one must rule with love and dignity, and that means not getting rat-arsed on tequila slammers in happy hour. In other words, please drink responsibly, and enjoy.
Oh, how to build a pub.
My guest today, I've been lucky enough to work... oh my god. Do you see what I mean? Like, I'm 10 times worse. I'm going to try and start that again. My guest today, I've been lucky enough to work alongside on many creative projects. From university drama productions to the Student Comedy Festival in Edinburgh, and everything in between, including a lip-sync battle and a taskmaster. But after all that, sometimes you just need to sit back and enjoy a drink. So here to build her dream pub, it's the fantastical Daisy Stone. Hello Daisy, how are you, and did I do okay?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. And yes, that was wonderful. I enjoyed reminiscing about all of the comedy we've created.
Yep, and this is just the start. How have you found coming back to uni this year? Obviously, pubs have been closed. That's what I really care about. How have you found a whole kind of different social life with coming back to uni?
I found that I've struggled to have one. A social life. Me and my housemates did a virtual club night in the house. I don't know why I was saying virtual.
Yeah, so you were in the house, right?
We were there in the house. We all did a joint playlist and then made lots of cocktails throughout the night. Someone got very sick. It was very fun. So that was one night. And
that was it. That was 3 months of my life.
Some virtual stuff. We did Taskmaster and stuff. But yeah, it's really weird, feeling like you can't go outside sometimes.
It is. It's kind of eerie. I don't know about you, but I've really found solace in my flatmates. You get to know them a lot more than you're expecting to because you're just constantly indoors. But it's good. Yeah. That's a lot stronger, if anything. There's a lot more kind of insular. A lot more games of Uno. Instead of nights out. I couldn't tell you which one's better.
Yeah, we figured out that, people probably know this, but if you've got an Amazon Fire Stick, there's free games on that, but they're shit knockoff games of Mario Kart and things like that. So that's something people can enjoy.
Well, that's our first recommendation of the podcast. If you are bored shitless, please get on your Amazon Fire Stick and play some knockoff Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Amazing. But in terms of actual beveraging and pubbing, what I want to know first is, Daisy, what is the pub to you? Are you much of a pub goer? Do you prefer the odd one-off, or are you a perpetual pub drinker? And is it somewhere you go to socialise, to drink, or is it a bit of both? Or is it a family place? Is it a friendly place? What is it, Daisy? Tell me.
It's a bit of an everything place, I think. So I'd say a couple of times a year, definitely go to a pub with my family or with Oliver and stuff for a nice meal, especially near Christmas or something like that. But at uni, I would say I go to the pub and or bars and stuff like that. Gotta love the indie lounge. Gotta love a little bit of a gig or something going on there.
You really do. Do you feel like when you pub, you prefer it being an event? So you mentioned going for a meal with your family, going to gigs, or do you just is it kind of just a sit around thing, or do you prefer to kind of dress up for it? I like putting on some nice clothes. It's just different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's different. I quite like going for an event to a gig, or for Christmas, or for someone's birthday, or you just call it a girls' night, or you have a big group chat and you're like, oh, pub night, everybody's coming along or something like that. It's nice to make an event out of it, even if you're just going with your mates.
Yeah, I think especially now as well, because there's nothing to do. It's nice to make an event out of anything. Obviously, the pubs are now closed where we are. Where I'm. What tier are you in?
Tier 2.
Yeah, jammy sod. Actually, this is something that I forgot to mention to you, but I'm quite interested in knowing about. I've seen on Facebook you've been posting about the pub in your village, kind of going out of business. Could you give me a bit more on that?
So there's only one pub in my village, in Stonefield, and it's changed hands a few times while I've been growing up, and there used to be more when I was growing up. But the Blackhead closed and stuff like that, so it's only the White Horse that's left. And it's just such a nice place to go. It's so nice inside. It's big and it's beautiful, and it's like a sort of, there used to be like a skittle alley outside that I used to have like a birthday party at, but that's now a house, which is a really nice house, but I really want to keep.
Yeah, but it's not a skittle alley, is it?
It's not a skittle alley, but it's nice. And it's got a really nice pub garden, and it'd be a really shame for the community to lose the one and only pub it's got. So
what was the story like behind it? So is it just that it's over COVID times that it's just kind of got like, it's just because they can't stay open?
Yeah, I think COVID really had a massive effect on it, as I'm sure it has on many other pubs and industries. But I think it was probably struggling a bit anyway. Because you're trying to find what to do with it, because it had such nice food, like really top end nice food, but it's in a small village with like far less than 2,000 people. It's a place where locals go to get a drink and stuff like that, and if you come back from uni with your mates and stuff, you're not necessarily going for a meal, you're going to go for a drink.
Drinks, yeah.
So it was probably quite difficult to keep open anyway, but just COVID hit it really hard. So, it'd be a real shame to lose it. Well, it actually made like New York Times News or something.
Really?
Yeah, because Rupert Friend, the actor, is from Stonefield, so he like helped support it. Yeah,
raising awareness for it. So how is it doing at the minute? Is it like, because I saw obviously you were putting up, there was like campaigns and stuff. Is it doing okay? Like how well is it going?
We've been given, we as the community have been given longer to try and raise more money for it. So I think we've got till January now.
So is it open currently? So are they making some money at least?
I don't know if it's open currently actually. But I know that the deadline for trying to buy it as a community has been extended like a little bit, because we're like really close. We're really close to being able to buy it as a community. So
basically, out of all my guests, you are generally the closest to owning your own pub.
There you go.
That is a great segue. But yeah, what's the name of the pub again?
The White Horse.
Anyone in the Stonefield area, hit up the White Horse, which will soon have a nearly 2,000 landlords. Fingers crossed by January. Amazing. Last question before we get into your pub itself. I'm making a little bit of a tally of the most expensive drinks people have bought. What I'd like to know is what's yours and how much was it? Now it can be just straight money, like a £15 cocktail, or it can be something that's ridiculously a massive rip-off. So Alistair Winning, a while back now, had like a £5 VK, which turns my stomach. So yeah, either way, what's your most expensive drink?
My most expensive drink was probably, do you know The Alchemist?
Yes, weirdly, Dan Horsley, I think his was from there as well. It seems like a bougie place.
Really, really bougie, but it's expensive. So I bought like one cocktail there with a friend, and I can't even remember what it was called. And it was in one of those giant sort of martini kind of...
It didn't have Haribos on it, did it?
No, it had like this white chocolate whipped cream on top of it, so it looked like a sort of trifle, and with a little sort of cherry on top, and I think some candy floss or something, so it was really sweet, and it basically was just like a sundae but alcoholic. It was very pleasant. Very pleasant, but was about £10, and that's quite a lot for like one drink.
That is horrific. I mean, I really like a cocktail, but I can only push to like £4. You know, you get 2 for £8 or something. That's a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty horrific. You've thoroughly upset me at the start, so thank you for that. But let's get into the podcast itself. Welcome, Daisy, to your pitch. You are, of course, pitching your dream pub. Now, what you might not realise is your pub already exists, but you're looking for a bit more investment to keep it going. So the first things first, I need to know who you're wanting to invest in your pub. So who would be your dream investor?
Dream investor, of course, Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. I have not played Taylor Swift yet, and I'm very excited for the challenge. Why Taylor Swift? If I have to ask.
I mean, she's just a legend, really. Absolutely on fire. I mean, I just think she's cool, and I think she'd be a right laugh in the pub. So that's my reason. And
she's got the dollar. You know, she can sort you out for a long time.
So, you know, Taylor, if you listen to this, please save my village pub. Thank you so much. Bye.
I mean, she listened to about half of them, so she might hit it. I'll see. I'll message you later. So, our Taylor gets out of a private jet, which is parked literally on the road next to your pub, and she gets out the staircase. She walks across the path, and she looks up, and in front of her is your pub. And obviously, emblazoned above the door is the name of your pub. So what I want, Daisy, is what you've decided to call it and why. And give me a bit of a description of the exterior and the interior of the place. Kind of what vibe have you gone for?
Okay, so I think I would call it the Ivy, Vine and Stone Public House.
That's cool. I'm going to forget it, but it's cool.
Yeah, I'm just feeling like a big sort of old farmhouse, kind of large cottage with sort of ivy growing up the side, sort of very rustic country, sort of village vibes, you know, sort of barnyard kind of community area. Would
it be kind of a local one then, like a little village place, or would it be more of like a commercial big pub?
I would say, like somewhere in the countryside that's kind of remote, but it's classy as well as country vibes. So, like, people want to come to it from far away. Like, your Londoners that want country life are going to want to come to my pub.
Yeah. So when the Londoners go to their houses in the countryside, this is the pub they go to.
This is the pub they go to, and they will be met with the villagers that just go there anyway and see it as their normal pub.
Yeah, I'm seeing it located in kind of Cornwall area where all the villagers absolutely hate all the other people, but it means your pub makes some decent money. What would your regulars call it then? Like the Ivy? The Vine?
Yeah, probably like the Ivy Vine. Something like that.
I think that's quite funky. And it's the Ivis, so it's Ivy Vine and Stone.
Yeah.
Perfect.
The Ivy's running in stone, yeah.
I think that suits Taylor's vibe. I think she's kind of into that. She kind of nods her head as she sees it. As she's walking in, though, she notices that you have, as many pubs do, a little blackboard by the side of the door. On that blackboard is a little quirky little message, isn't there, Daisy? What is it that Taylor's saying?
Realistically, it's probably going to be a quote from one of her songs.
Targeted marketing, I like it.
Yep. Not quite sure. What would I put?
We are never, ever, ever getting back together. That's one.
That's. I think that could be it. That could be the one.
And she'd be like, yes, I feel that.
Yeah, she would. I think it'd probably be something from her more recent music, but do you know what? I quite like throwing it back to We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together.
And I think she'd very much appreciate it. So Taylor looks, she chuckles, she walks into the pub. Now you're there, you're wiping down the bar, you know, you're serving some customers, and the first thing Taylor does, as anyone would, is she goes up to the bar and gets a bloody drink. In front of her are 4 drinks on draft. You've got 2 beers and 2 ciders. Daisy, what have you gone for?
So, beer-wise, beer Moretti, because it's a great beer.
It's a fantastic
beer. It's really
beer.
good with pizza. Not that I'd be serving pizza, but it is.
If people bring their own pizza, there's the option.
If people bring their own pizza, it would go really well. and King Goblin beer. So it's like a seasonal beer from like the Witchwood Brewery.
Oh,
which
yes,
is
yeah.
close to where we live. So yeah, it's seasonal, but I'd have it all year round because it tastes nice.
That's funky. We haven't had that one before. Was it the Greedy Goblin?
King Goblin. So it's like a ruby beer.
Is it the same as like the Hobgoblin? Like, do they? Yes.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same brewery, but they do it. It's a ruby version of it that they do seasonally through something to do with a full moon or something.
They're genuinely very scary down at that brewery. You don't want to get messed up down there. Fantastic. What ciders have you gone for?
So my middle brother actually has been brewing cider for years.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also, if you didn't pick his cider, I think there'd be a lot of issues.
I think there'd be a lot of issues, yeah. Yeah, he just makes it in the house. So I just have Alfie's homemade cider, and I found this really nice cider in Normandy on holiday one time. So I'd remember which one that was and bring it.
The Normandy cider, I like that. Well, you're actually in luck because our Taylor, she's earned so much money, and for her new album, is it called Folk Music? No.
So
Folklore.
The one she brought out the other day was Evermore, but the one she brought out in July is Folklore.
Folklore. Well, obviously, to really get to it's a fantastic album, I'm sure. And she, to get to really like the depths of the real folklore, she obviously had to get first-hand experience. So she actually used all of her Spotify money to build a time machine, and she went back so that she could research all the folklore for the album. As you see, it worked very well, but it means that you can also use the time machine to get your Normandy cider. So don't worry about that at all.
Yes, Taylor.
I don't know what Taylor will go for. You know what? It's been quite a long day. She wants something a little bit stronger, a bit smoother. She wants a wine. And obviously, you've got your house red and your house white. What have you gone for?
So, my house red is Côte d'Iron Villages. I don't think I said that well. It's probably French or something, so it's probably like Côte d'Iron Villages, but I can't say that really. So it's Côte d'Iron Villages.
Villages. Fantastic. So it's French, is it?
I assume.
I'm really not good at wine, so this is the part where I kind of try and bullshit my way through it.
I'm going to assume French.
Fruity.
Really
it's quite grapey.
Like full-bodied, goes with like red meat sort of vibes.
Yes. God, could do with a steak. Never mind. And what have you gone for your white?
Champagne.
I like it. You've really gone for this kind of bougie countryside look. Do you like champagne, or is it just for the punters?
I like champagne. It's nice. It's fizzy. You know, it's fun. It's like better Prosecco.
Yeah.
So
it's Prosecco that's kind of justified, because I drink Prosecco and I don't really enjoy it. But if it's champagne, like, well, it's champagne, you know. Come on, you got to. Fantastic. I mean, Taylor's got to go for the champagne, doesn't she? She'd love a little bit, little glass of champagne. But it has been one of those days, and she does need a little tipple to take the edge off as well. So as well as her not her Prosecco, her champagne, she's gonna go for a little spirit, a little nib of some spirit you've got. As you know, the rules in this country are that pubs can serve 3 spirits and 3 spirits alone. So what spirits have you gone for?
Vodka, because it's classic.
Standard.
Captain Morgan spiced rum.
Great choice.
Because it tastes kind of caramelly.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And is Malibu a spirit?
Is it a rum? I see, this is why I should not be hosting this. I have no idea about anything. My choice of red wine is communion wine. I only know the white wines that I serve at work, and there are only 2 of them. I'm the wrong person. I'm going to give it to you, because I don't know.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go with Malibu then.
Is Malibu rum?
I think so. It's quite coconutty and quite sweet, and you do have it like a shot of it, like with lemonade or something like that. So I assume if you only have a shot of it, it's got to be a spirit.
Yes, I think it is. I'm going to go, yes, it's allowed.
Okay, awesome. Those are my 3.
So what would Taylor go for? Didn't she do a song about Malibu, or is that Miley Cyrus?
That's my Cyrus.
Well, she's not going for the Malibu then. She's actually a bit offended that you've got that in. She'll go for the Captain Morgan spiced rum because I'm not going to lie, that's a personal favourite of mine. So she gets a Jinx. She thanks you. Got a nice collection there. What was your brother called? Is it Alfie's Homegrown Cider?
Yeah.
So that's a personal favourite.
Yeah.
But as she's walking away, she notices you've got a pillar by the bar. And on said pillar is a poster for the Ivy, Vine and Stone. Is that right? Yes.
Yeah.
The Ivy, Vine and Stone signature cocktail. And she's like, this is cool. What the hell is it?
Well, I would say, Taylor, it's called the Daisy Chain.
Okay.
Yep, very imaginative by me there. You get a martini glass, and then you know when you turn the glass upside down and you dip the rim in sugar?
Yes, that's cool.
So you do that, and then you get like the tiny little daisies that you've seen like fields, always in the playground fields at school and stuff like that. You get the little heads of them, and like in different spaces you stick them on the sticky sugar on the rim of the glass.
So you don't eat them?
Out. So that's the Daisy Chain.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, got it. And then ingredients: a shot of Malibu, a shot of passion fruit cordial.
Oh, hello. where are you hiding that?
A squirt or two of caramel syrup, topped with Prosecco.
That is funky.
No. But I will.
I also love the idea that you've got no mixer. It's all alcohol. That is going to absolutely royally fuck you up. That's incredible.
No, passion fruit cordials technically.
You can't have a shot of cordial as a mixer. I'm sorry. No, I reject that argument completely.
Yeah, probably best.
But I feel like if you're going for a signature cocktail, you want to get twatted, and as well, you're paying top dollar for it. I'm sure as well here. It's going to be upper than £5 probably, but you want to get your money's worth.
Yeah.
Fantastic. She's like, I'm going to get one of them next, and she does. She gets to about 3 or 4 rounds. She's kind of getting into the groove of the evening. It's getting a bit busier now, and you're a bit more swept off your feet, but. You do come over to check on her because obviously she's the main client for the evening.
Yeah.
And she asks you to sit down across from her, and she goes, "Well, this is all very nice. It's going very well. I like the vibe. I like the name that I can also remember, thankfully. Bit angry about the Miley Cyrus thing, but I'll let that slide.
Yeah.
The only thing is, I'm a little bit confused about, I feel like I don't really know the place well enough, and I feel like that's because I don't know you well enough, Daisy. And to help me kind of visualise what you're trying to create here, I need to know a bit about your experiences in a pub, so I know what type of experiences you're trying to kind of purport into your own space. So, basically, what I'm asking through that segue is, what is your best pub experience? And why was it so bloody good?
Oh, that is actually such a good question. Probably New Year's Eve 2018 at a fairly local pub. So it's in a town called Woodstock that's quite near to where I am. And we basically go there every New Year's Eve, if I'm honest, since I've turned 18. Like, me and my mates go there, but it ends up, the pub garden ends up being just rammed full of like Marlborough students, people in the year below me, people who've just turned 18 who I've recognised from school, people in the year above me, like my whole year end up going there, and all my really close mates, we go there and we have a drink, we have a laugh. And 2018 was actually the first New Year's Eve I got to spend with Oliver, because the year before he was working in France, so he got to come along to that, and that was really special.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, that was really, really lovely, and it was really special, and there was loads of free food and free Prosecco, so just everybody's...
Well, that makes it 10 times better. I do love, when people are just about, so you want to go with a good group, but when you just bump into people you haven't seen in ages, especially school friends, I think it's absolutely fantastic. It really makes a night 10 times better. What was I going to say? I actually got really upset when you said that, just because I forgot that we used to be allowed to go out and go to the pub. 2018, 2 years ago, still feels like an absolute eternity. And it'll be a while before we get back to that. But hopefully one day, maybe 2022, you'll be able to go there with Oliver again and have a lovely evening and get some free Prosecco and be a part owner of your own pub. Amazing. That's lovely. I like that. Taylor's a big fan of New Year's and of seeing old friends and having good times. So she's happy with that answer. You go off. Taylor's still at her booth, and she gets a bit peckish. You know, she's had a little bit too much to drink. She's got a big day tomorrow, so she wants to sober up a little bit. So she gets out your food menu. Now, on said menu is 3 items. It could be a main, a dessert and a starter. I got that in the completely wrong order. Or it could be 3 mains, 3 desserts, whatever you fancy. And of course, as you know, Taylor has a time machine that you're free to use whenever you want. So if you would like specific meals throughout your life, they're also an option. So Daisy, what is Taylor seeing in front of her on this beautiful menu?
Okay, so we've got starter, main, dessert. That's what I'm going to go for. Starter, so the same pub I talked about in like one of my best pub memories, like ever, does this dish that's duck fries. And honestly... Duck fries? Duck fries. So basically, you know, like, just like crispy duck that you would get like at a Chinese restaurant or something like that. So that's like chopped up, like cooked really nicely underneath all your fries, and then you get like a pile of fries on top of that with this like sticky plum sort of like duck sauce on top, and then loads of chilies and stuff all on top of the fries, and honestly it's delicious. Loaded fries are really becoming a big thing. Like we had Dan on the other week, and all 3 of his options were chips. It was chips, cheese and chips, and fish and chips. So at least there was 1 meal in there. But yeah, loaded fries, I feel like I need to jump on this a bit more. I feel like there's a real market for it. It is so good, so good. Amazing. And that's a starter, so is it quite... So I had it as a starter at the pub I mentioned earlier, like before, like in real life, many moons ago. It was massive, like definitely could be a main, because when the actual main came, like I couldn't finish it because I was so full on the starter. So it's good, that's fantastic. I love a big starter, I must say. That could be a meal in itself. Fantastic, what about your main then? It's got to be sausage and mash, and then like gravy, maybe some broccoli, you know, like a proper like meal, hearty meal. Yeah, that's a classic. That's a carb heavy meal to soak up all that alcohol. That's what you need sometimes. And like, your sausages as well, like really nice. Get all the farmers and villagers and people involved. Oh yeah. Shop local, you know, get the proper local numbers. Ooh. Would you have different variants of sausage? So you've got Lancashire. Yes, yeah. You know. Would you go for a bit of variety? Yeah, I'd go for variety. So like we'd have like, what's on the menu today? Look at this. You'd have like daily specials. Oh, I like that. Yeah. With all your local butchers. Well, not local because you're going to Lancashire and Cambridgeshire and everywhere. I was just trying to figure out what they were called. Amazing. What about your dessert? I think it's probably got to be chocolate fondant. Oh, so like the little cake with, and you put your spoon in and all the melted chocolate falls out. That is probably my favourite pudding on this whole earth. That sounds amazing. Was there one in particular that you want in your pub? So was there one place you went where you had a fantastic chocolate pudding? I don't know, just every time I have it, so anywhere. So it's your go-to, dessert. It's like me and chocolate fudge cake, to be fair. Absolutely fantastic. It's so good. I think... Maybe like a small scoop of like salted caramel or vanilla ice cream on the side. Yeah, just to give it that balance. Yeah. It's a good shout, I think Taylor's going to go for it all, let's face it. I mean, like, I would suggest the bangers and mash and the dessert, but those bloody duck chips sound fantastic. You can't go without them. And, you know, as you say, she's got a big day tomorrow and she's quite drunk, so it works out perfectly. Yeah. She has an absolutely deliciously hearty meal. And as you're bringing over, was it the chocolate, not fondant, was it? Chocolate? I think it's called a chocolate fondant, yeah. Chocolate fondant, yes. As you're bringing over the chocolate fondant, she asks you, I'm a singer, so, you know, I know my music, but what song is playing right now? Because it's bloody fantastic. Now, what our Taylor doesn't realise is that you recently purchased a jukebox, which is one of the reasons why you need the investment, because it's, you know, really indebted you. But on this jukebox, you put on one album, just one at first, just to get things going, and then you realise that this one album
is the most perfect album for your pub. It just works absolutely perfectly. So you haven't bothered to put any others on there. What I want to know, and what Taylor wants to know, is what album have you picked, and what song on the album does Taylor love a lot?
I've picked Folklore by
Oh, I always knew she was egotistical.
Yeah. No, she's just so drunk she can't remember her.
Yeah, she has no idea that it's herself.
August.
Is that her favourite one on there?
It's a good one on there. Yeah.
So why Folklore? Is it the vibe? Because I guess I've never heard it. Is it kind of folky? So it kind of worked for more of a pub's feel.
Yeah, it's folky and it's kind of country and it's got some more upbeat songs, but it's really good. It's really ambient.
Yes.
So you can listen to it and really enjoy it, or you can have it on sort of in the background and just be chatting and sorting other things, and it's just really pleasant in the background. I
think that's the perfect balance in a pub. You want that you can kind of zone in, zone out of it.
Yeah.
And that's a very well, for that reason, I haven't heard the album, but that's a very good choice. And as I say, Taylor's going to be happy about it, isn't she? You know.
Yeah, she's going to be. I really, really want to keep this investment that Taylor's into my pub. So just really plugging her music.
It's very Taylor oriented, but you got to work for your market, as we say. Fantastic. Yeah. You go off. You tend some of the other patrons, and Taylor. She's sobered up a bit now. She's feeling a bit better. She can finally get up. And so she does, and she wanders around. She's looking for something to do, a kind of an activity or a game that she'd like to have a go at. What do you have in the Ivy, Vine, and Stone?
So we'd have a Skittle Alley.
Oh, fantastic!
And like a small performance stage for like live gigs, like musicians and comedy and stuff.
And to commentate like Skittle competitions as well.
Clearly to commentate that, because the Skittles is the main event, if I'm honest.
Yes, that's why we're all here. It's to save the White Horse. We're going to buy their Skittle parts and bring them here so they can use the money. It's amazing. Skittles, that's a classic old pub game that isn't really around enough anymore. Fantastic answer. Now, it's getting a bit later. Taylor's been having an absolute golden time, and you're at the bar, and it's a bit quieter now. So she comes up, she takes a stool at your bar, and she goes, "Look, you've got a lot of good things going on here. I'm enjoying it a lot, but I'm not going to lie to you. You're a bit too perfect. You've got no skeletons in your closet. And if I'm going to invest, I don't want to invest, and then it turns out that you actually really prefer Miley Cyrus. That would really impact me, and I wouldn't want to give you my money. So what I need to know is, do you prefer Miley? No. What I need to know is, what is your most embarrassing pub story? So I know that you're not a perfect human being, and that way I'll rip you down just so that I know that you're a human being and that I'm willing to invest, and I've got something over you, so you can't go behind my back. So what, Daisy, is your most embarrassing story?
Well, Taylor, my most embarrassing pub story. Probably the first ever drink I bought at 18, my first legal drink that I was able to buy myself. I went out with a couple of mates who were also 18, and we went to All Bar One in Oxford. It was very nice. We all dressed up, and I ordered myself a raspberry mojito because it sounded really cool.
That sounds very funky.
Yeah, so it looks like an alcoholic purple slush puppy.
Amazing.
If I'm honest. Yeah. And it was kind of like smoothie vibes, alcoholic smoothie vibes. I think I was just so excited to have my first ever drink, that I bought myself. I drank it too quickly, and this purple sludgy drink came right out of my nose.
Oh,
it streamed everywhere. I dressed up. I was like, bollocks, it's coming out my nose. And also because it's minty and alcohol, it burnt as well.
Oh my god, that's awful. So how quickly did you drink? I'm not gonna lie, when I suck something out of a straw, it doesn't usually come out my nose.
I really don't know. Maybe I hiccuped. Maybe something
went fundamentally wrong in your body.
Wrong, because I downed about half of it, and then suddenly I could just feel it rise, and it all just streamed out my nose. It was purple sludge. It was horrible. I was so embarrassed.
Was it right at the start of the evening as well?
Yes, it was.
So what went? So you're covered in purple sludge. What happens next?
The table's covered in purple sludge.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So did you stay out? Like, was it still a good evening?
I stayed out because.
I mean, I guess you weren't that drunk because it all came out of your nose.
It all came. Yeah. It was I was literally my first ever legal drink came out of my nose. It wasn't like I wasn't the third one.
Oh my God.
Just the first one.
That is. I mean, it's beautifully embarrassing because I think everyone's. First time you get a drink, it's all about how you look. I'm there drinking a Carling even though I hated the taste of beer for about 5 years. Yeah. But then to have it come out of your nose I will concede is extremely embarrassing. Not to at you or anything, but my God.
Thank you.
And as well, I don't know, when I've had my first legal drink, I still felt like I was breaking the rules. So like you want to be as inconspicuous as possible. So you're like, thank you very much. Sprays down your face.
Sprays down. The thing is, like, the two friends I went with have their birthday in the same week as me, so we'd all turned.
Oh, so it was all your big 80. Oh.
Yeah, and they were just slipping away, and they sort of looked at me like, "Why are we here?
We can't take you anywhere. You're such a child." That big moment to become an adult, and it all came out your nose.
Yeah.
I think there's really something in that. Fantastic story. Taylor's very happy. Not only is she very happy with the story, that was it. That was the final nail in the proverbial coffin. Which is a good thing because you have received your money. Congratulations, you've got your endorsement from the one and only Taylor Swift. But she's so impressed, Daisy, that not only have you got the money, she's going to give you a signing on bonus. She's going to let you use her time machine and her, sufficient funds and, knowledge and strength and all the things that she has. To get 5 people, dead or alive, friend or foe, fact or fiction, to have a drink with you. And so, our Taylor, very busy, she leaves. And because it's a bloody time machine, immediately, walking into your bar, just after closing, so it's just you and them, are 5 people. Daisy Stone, who have you picked?
Oh, well, since I've met Taylor Swift, I would invite the Queen, because I've heard she's pretty royal and that's quite cool.
You didn't know this, I mentioned the Queen in your introduction.
Did you?
I made a joke about the Queen turning up at your pub, so thank you very much. That is a perfect loop of the whole podcast. That's incredible. Thank you very much for that.
That's right, Queen would definitely be there.
Yeah.
Sir David Attenborough, because he's just an adorable legend.
Absolute legend.
Mulan, because she's also a legend, but more literally.
Yeah.
Daisy May Cooper, because she's just amazing and seems like a right laugh. And Samwise Gamgee from Lord of the Rings.
You've got a real eclectic bunch there. A lot, weirdly, from the West Country. Is there a reason for that combination? Or is it just the people that, like, is it the 5 people you want most, or is it because of the group? Because I don't know why, but Samwise Gamgee and Daisy May Cooper would have a laugh, I feel.
I feel like they have a right laugh. I don't know, I just thought about who, real or not real, do I really want to meet? And clearly it was Taylor Swift and all of the people I just mentioned.
Amazing. The Queen would be fun, yeah?
Yeah, I think she's cool. I think behind all of the blank faces and small waves, I think she's actually quite hip. Yeah,
I bet she is. I bet she has a good time, when she can let her hair down, but she's never allowed to. So I feel like this would be her, like, at her absolute mentalist.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic. David Attenborough's on a 2-week streak. He was picked by Jack as well, so it just shows how much of a bloody great guy he is.
So great.
Amazing. Well, as you expected, the night is absolutely fantastic. You're with them for 5 hours, you get out of it trolley, they buy you a shit ton of drinks and they tell you how amazing the place is you're in. And it's getting, like, 5 o'clock in the bloody morning. The Queen's off her bloody rockers. She's making out with David Attenborough. It's all the whole thing.
Oh my god.
I know, a hell of a lot of tea in that moment. You should have that as a plaque outside, where David Attenborough and the Queen got off. But it's coming to the end of the night, and you're finding out, look, thank you all for, it's been such a lovely evening. You've been all too generous to me. I'm in a great celebratory mood. I'm going to get the last round. Which you do, but you're so drunk, you forget to ask them what they want, and more importantly, you don't remember what they've been drinking all evening. It's all just just liquid to you. So, for your final question, Daisy, I would like to know what each of your guests, you think your guests would drink, and most importantly of all, Daisy, you walk up to a bar, and it's not a joke. What drink do you get?
The Queen and David Attenborough, I would get raspberry sour shots, because I feel like they want to link arms and do them together.
100%. They've been on it all night, that's why they got off. They are absolutely mortal.
They're just absolutely hammered. Mulan, I think I would get her... I would give her my Daisy Chain signature cocktail, just to see what she thought of it. Daisy May Cooper and Samwise Gamgee, I would get Alfie's homebrewed cider.
Yes, 100%. That would be my choice for them.
Yeah, because I feel like they really want to try their local produce, you know?
And also, I feel like it would help Alfie with local investors.
Yeah, I think that would be really, good of me as an older sister.
Yes.
And I myself would get a glass of red wine.
A glass of red, fantastic. Any red in particular, or just a house red?
A house red.
Amazing. Daisy, you bloody smashed it.
Thank you.
That's all we need for the time being, at least. Thank you so much. You've been fantastic. I'm just going to do a couple of quick thank yous, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
First one goes out to Sam Nason for the graphic. It's a very nice graphic, Daisy. You'll really like it. Number 2 goes to Jack Pethram for the jingle. It's very, very fun. Thirdly, to all of our adoring viewers, thank you, Oliver. And, oh yes, you! Thank you for coming on and being absolutely fantastic in this week's episode of the Build a Pub podcast. Hope you all enjoyed it.
Oh, how to build a pub.